Hey guys, welcome to the Fall Art Camp 2021 tutorial. For this video, we're going to be doing the Zentangle Pumpkin. So you want to start off with setting up your paper. So go get your paper right now, pencils, sharpie, and markers. We're going to start off by using the pencil, and we're going to start sketching out the circle. Or the oval shape. It's more like imagine like a rectangle but with like curved edges. Basically just copy what I'm doing in the video. By the way, I am doing this digitally, so look a little different since you guys are doing a traditional one. Yeah, so keep sketching out your pumpkin. Right now I'm just fixing up the edges because I kind of messed up. But continue smoothing out your edges until you have like this kind of shape with your pumpkin. Alright, and then once you have your pumpkin outline finished, we're going to want to divide these into little sections. So just like real pumpkins, they're going to have like multiple sections going down from the very top to the very bottom. There's no specific limit to how many sections you can have. For this video, I am doing 5 for simplicity purposes. You can do as many as you want. Just keep in mind, the more sections you have, the more Zentangles you have to do. So basically just draw a line straight from the top to the bottom and then curve it in the middle. Basically curve it towards the side it's closer to. So the lines on the left, curve towards the left a little bit. The line towards the right, curve to the right a little bit. Now you're going to want to do what I did and round out the top and the bottom edges. So as you see, I rounded out the bottom by like where you're seeing the extra. And then we're going to want to draw the top of the pumpkin, the stem. You basically just want to draw a square with a curved top and then add a circle right on top. Alright. And then do the same thing that you did on the top side to the bottom side. You're gonna want to curve out each section, just like what I'm doing. Alright, so you're going to want to start dividing your pumpkin into sections. There's no specific way that you have to do this, but you just want to go from one side of the pumpkin down to another. You can make these however you want, however many you want. So like right now, I'm just going randomly. I'm doing lines across. And then when you add these lines, they're going to start forming these sections. Alright, and then keep doing these until you have an amount comfortable with, or about the same amount that I have. So once you have your pumpkins all sketched out in pencil, you're going to want to start using your Sharpie and then start outlining the pumpkin. You want to outline the edges of the pumpkin, the sections of the pumpkin. Basically, anywhere you drew a line, you're going to want to outline it. and this will help for later in the process. So as I am finishing this pumpkin up and cleaning it up, we're gonna add Zentangles in each section. If you don't know what Zentangles are, they are a form of art that uses pattern repetition to create a really nice aesthetic. Basically, you can do anything you want with it. You can do like polka dots, could be a Zentangle, overlapping noodles, anything really, just as long as it's the pattern, you can do it as a Zentangle. Alright, so once you finish your outlining like I have, we're going to start drawing the Zentangles. So basically each section that you have in your pumpkin, you're going to want to do a Zentangle in it. Alright, so you're going to want to start with your pencil again, and we're going to sketch out the Zentangle. I'm going to show you 3, and then I'll time lapse the rest of the process. So right now I'm making a Zentangle. This is a pretty basic one. All I'm doing is just making a bunch of squares. So then it's basically gonna be like a checkered pattern. So as you see, I'm filling in the squares, marking out the squares. Right, and then once you have all the squares in place, you can fill them in with Sharpie. Not all of them, but like an alternating pattern. Keep in mind that you do not have to follow any of the Zentangles I'm doing. You can do your own Zentangles. You can do mine out of order. You can do a mix of it, however you want. It's your pumpkin. So as you see, I'm going in with the Sharpie, and I'm just gonna fill in every other square. You're not gonna want to fill in every square, or else that section will just be black and there won't be a pattern to it. So continue what I'm doing until you're done with that one section. So once you finish your first Zentangle, we're gonna start the next one. So for my next Zentangle, I'm gonna be doing a wavy one, kind of, in the next section. Alright, so you're gonna want to get your pencil again. You're gonna want to start marking out your Zentangle first, and then once you're done with your marking out your Zentangle, you can go in with the marker or Sharpie and fill it in. Keep in mind we're going to use the Sharpies first, and then once we're done with the Sharpie, we'll go in with the marker. So right now I'm just drawing in waves, and then I'm adding these lines inside each section of the wave and they're gonna be like kind of like going in different directions. It's gonna make a really cool pattern. So as I'm finishing up my sketching process, we're gonna go in with the sharpie, and we're gonna have like two different type of lines. With the main horizontal line or the wavy line, we're gonna make that a thicker line for the Zentangle. And then since I'm doing digital, it's kind of already filled in. But for you guys, you're gonna have pencil lines. You're gonna want to go over those with Sharpie. All right. So now moving on to the next Zentangle. We're going to do like a noodle Zentangle, right? So right now I'm just drawing out some of the noodles. You're gonna want these noodles to come from every side, every edge, however you want. It can be random, but you're gonna want the noodles to overlap like mine, right? So the first noodle I had overlaps over the second noodle. The second noodle overlaps over the third noodle, and so on, so on, so on, and so forth. Right. So then once you have a good amount of noodles that you want, you're not going to want to fill your entire Zentangle with noodles. You're going to want some empty space. Right. So once you have all your noodles finished, we're going to go back into the empty space, get your Sharpie, and you're going to want to fill in that empty space. Alright. Also, any of the pencil lines that you had from the noodles, you're going to want to outline them with the Sharpie too. As I am finishing up this last Zentangle, the rest of my Zentangles will be sped up in a time lapse. They'll basically show you some different Zentangles that you can do. In the description, I'll link some of the Zentangles that I found online. You can copy those, alright? But if you don't want to watch the time lapse, you can skip to 1820 on the video, alright? rectangle, we're gonna go back to the stem and we're gonna add some texture to it. You're gonna want lines running from the top down to the bottom, all at varying lengths. So just like mine, they don't have to all connect to the top, don't have to all connect to the bottom, just whatever, alright? And then once you have all of your Zentangles done, all of your stem done, you can add a little curly stem like mine. You can design it however you want. That's just aesthetic decision, right? Right here, I try out a couple of the curly stem designs, and then I just ended up sticking with a very simplistic one, but it's gonna give you a few ideas of how you can do yours. Right, so now we're gonna start with the coloring process, alright? So you're gonna have all this white space that you can put color over using your markers, alright? There's no specific color you have to do any color you want. So right now I'm starting to use a red and coloring one section. The only thing I recommend is to keep each section having a different color, right? It'll look a bit more interesting. But you can also add multiple colors to a section if you want. Just do whatever you want and make your pumpkin yours. guys, is finishing the last of this pumpkin, coloring the stem. That'll basically be the end of the video. This should help you complete the pumpkin if you weren't able to make it to the camp, or you had to leave early, or if you didn't get it during the camp. And I hope this helps you.